sense of me doing opening prayer. It's been done. I don't have my little journal book in here, but,
I'll get
a little blue book. You have to look for it. You're not the best looker.
But you can do it, John.
You can do it. Now, what he just said, about building the walls of Jerusalem, probably is 2018. So for at least, 5 or 6 years in my little journal book, I've gotten things in prayer, and one of the things was build the walls of Jerusalem, reinforce the gates of Judah, fortify the cities. And as I'm writing these things, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. You get stuff, you write it down. It's kind of like, man, what is that? What is that? And 4 or 5 years of that, and just flip in my book and read the date on there, and I think I just got my answer. To know that the spirit of prophecy, that Yah is in the midst of His people.
Amen.
The work, what He does, the calling out. There's really nothing to say. But Yah is so good.
Yes, He is.
And we don't know why He do what He do. He just do. And we must obey.
Amen.
So thank you, Pastor Ballard. And praise Yah for my answer. No matter how long later it is, He'll give you the answer at the right time.
Amen.
At the right time. So, with that being said, tonight will be a unique night. It will be a night on a topic I have never, ever in front of a microphone or camera preached and taught on. But as I have grown in Yah and grown, and not being arrogant, but grown as a teacher and grown as a preacher and things like that, sometimes there are things that He brings to my attention, and if I keep seeing it, if it keeps being brought up, if I keep just hearing about it, like, this must be something and it's just, for me, it's just like, here's a little breadcrumb and just go dig, So, the folks that are from Jackson and from Restoring the Branches, or if that's why I give like 1 trillion scriptures on one topic. And, my folks be like, come on, brother, yes, that thing, okay, Josh, wow. The worst finder in the history of finding things. The Spirit is moving. Ruach is moving. Pull up a little bit. So I want to read these, before I get going, I want to read these dates, just so we'll know, right? And I just say we'll know just because the Ruach is real. I just don't know what to say. Now flip through here, just bear with me. And I should be better at this. So I got stuff from 2013, and I'm still in the same book. So I've not filled this book up. So that's on me. But that's what Yah told Shmuel: don't let a word fall to the ground. Put it in a book. So I have not been very good at that. Absolutely. Okay, on the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur, 9/23/15, build the walls of Jerusalem, build the walls of Jerusalem, build the fenced cities of Judah. What I conceal, I will reveal my time. It's in here again. 1/23/16. Tupelo, Mississippi. Or 1/21/16 on a Thursday. build the walls of Jerusalem and reinforce the gates of Judah. I won't read all that part. Build the walls of Jerusalem, build the fenced cities, and reinforce the gates of Judah. And I just had beside a question mark. What does that mean? And that was back in 2016. 10/11/16 on Yom Kippur. How to reach Israel. How do I build the walls of Jerusalem? Build the fenced cities of Judah. Reinforce the gates of Judah, garrisons and stations. 10/17/16. Oh, I can't read that, sorry. So you gotta keep yourself now, right? So just between you and them, and so you understand how when the New Testament says, "Hey, look, words I cannot utter, stuff I cannot utter," and that might be, yeah, I think that's it. But yes. 10/9/2017, build walls of Jerusalem, build fenced cities of Judah, reinforce the gates of Judah, take my healing to the nations. That's 10/9/17. I think that came out of his mouth, and everybody in here is a witness. I did not know Pastor Battle October 9th, 2017.
We made about 3 months ago.
So, it is what it is. So that gives me a little bit more confidence on this topic. And our topic for tonight is Unlocking the Deep, Part 1, When Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. So I try to stay as solid and in line as possible. But when we look at when you first came into the truth, you know, you realize that there are a lot of lies. You realize that Shabbat is Shabbat and that Sunday is not it, right? You realize that, you know, Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, like, I'm worshiping devils. Have mercy. Like, so when you come to the truth, you do find out lies. And I'm sure we've all seen Alice in Wonderland. You know, and you go down the rabbit hole, following it goes deeper and deeper, and then the world's upside down. It's like, man, it's so truth is stranger than fiction. And one reason why we try to really stress studying the way we study and getting into our Hebrew the way we do is that we can be able to prove things. Because that's how our teacher, our great teacher was. That's how Messiah was. And if we are to be like, it's one thing to be like him, you know, and I want to, you know, float up in the clouds, and I want to, you know, to get out of him, devil, and all those, and touch and heal. But, you know, Yahshua was a teacher. He was an amazing student. At 12 years old, he's with the doctors. He's with the doctors at 12. So these are things that we can't be fearful of asking questions. Or my mom used to say stuff when I was a kid. If I came home and I had homework and I didn't get it, and I'm asking her, she's like, "What you asking me for? That's what your teacher for." Did you not ask your teacher? Why not? Scared to raise my hand. You better not. You better raise your hand and ask your teacher how to do this, this, and this. That's what your teacher's for. So we've been put in a position to where you don't have to ask questions. Just take the medicine I give you. Take this system, take this program, and download it, and don't worry about it. Don't worry about that little virus. It's okay. I got an antivirus program for you. Don't worry about it. So tonight, us unlocking the deep, when truth is stranger than fiction. We all, yeah. So the Biblios, or the Bible, right? It's really the Biblios, the collection of books or scrolls. So that's a copy of some scrolls that was found in the Qumran community. Okay, what you probably know as Dead Sea Scrolls. So when it comes to the Bible or to the scriptures, The Bible is a very unique collection of books. Very, very, very unique. So what does the Bible talk about? Well, it covers the earth realm, right? So in the Bible, we get information and understanding about humans, animals, plants, land, sea, and the expansion, right? Because when you step outside, you look up, you see stars, moon, the expansion, okay, from the ground. Then but then the Bible talks about the spiritual realm, right? There's inner works of heaven. There's a scenario where there's this meeting in the Shamayim, and you have the Most High God, and He has His council of angels around Him, and He asks His counselors a question: how can we convince Ahab to go up to Ramoth Gilead to be slain? And then all the different angels, ooh, I know, ooh, I know, ooh, I know. So the Bible gives us an inner work on the government or the council in heaven. What other book does that? What other writings does that? It gives you a glimpse into what goes on upstairs. Okay. Government, order, jurisdiction, and interactions with the earthly realm. Daniel's praying. Who comes and gives him the word? Gabriel. Well, where is he from? The heavenly realm. He's not from earth. Right? So the Bible records the spiritual realm and interaction between earthly realm, spiritual realm. Abraham is chilling one day, and he sees 3 men, but there's just something about them, and he wants him to come and be with him. Were they from earth? They were not. They were not of this realm or world. Okay? Prophecy. The Bible is full of prophecy. Right? Humans having dreams. We talked about one the other night, right? Nebuchadnezzar couldn't sleep for a while, could he? He saw something. And we know it was prophetic because we can see what John sees. John sees a wife coming down the aisle, nice and slow and beautiful dressed, and music's playing, and Nebuchadnezzar is flipping out because he sees this stone cut without any hands from a mountain from on high being tossed and crushing all these kingdoms. Right. So prophecy, right? Dreams, visions, a prophetic word. Okay, these revelations alert to births, kingdoms, future events. Okay. Kingdoms rising, kingdoms falling, right? So the Bible's full of prophecy, future events, things to happen, right? In Daniel, he gets a vision of a goat running so fast that the goat's feet is not even touching the ground. Well, who was that goat? Alexander the Great, right? Why? Because he conquered quickly. This led to the Grecian Empire, okay? So he got that, he saw that. Okay, supernatural, people recorded, seen, and interacting with angels. And then, obviously, the shock and fear of the Ancient of Days, Daniel and Ezekiel. Right? Seeing the Ancient of Days. So, this is what our Bible is full of. And as we go through this, we're going to realize that religion, theology, different methods have tried to take the spiritual or supernatural out of the book, when the people who wrote it believed that. That's why they wrote it. That's why they wrote how they wrote. Okay, that's how they wrote why they wrote. Okay, so if you believe in Mashiach, if you believe in Yahshua, and there's plenty of other things we can use, but I just picked a couple. If you believe in Mashiach, some pillars and belief of Yahshua. All right, his sign was in the heavens. It was in the cosmos. All right, that's how they knew. They saw a star. It was in a certain place. They had a deep understanding of astronomy and the stars being in a certain position. Moons. They were way beyond what we think. Okay, they saw the sign in the heaven. Okay, that Mashiach originated from on high. Okay, that he really originated from the heavenly realm. Okay, just those two alone right there. That's very spiritual, very supernatural. Okay? All right, his mother, Miriam, did not have sex. That she was born she produced a child without laying with the man.
Right.
Okay? This is something that it's been programmed in you to accept, but other things that are spiritual on that kind of level, no way. Okay? So that Mashiach was born, and his mother, Miriam, who was pure, who was had not known a man, and this is how it comes to the world. And then something that we believe is the resurrection and the ascension, right? Back into the Shemayim, right? To rise from the dead. Well, other civilizations, they have what you call that? When you die, you come back and you're reincarnation. So our adversary has everything that is true. He has his replica, right? And a bunch of people, it's counterfeit. A bunch of people believe in reincarnation, believe in different things, So that stuff is very live and active today. So some pillars of Mashiach that we have are very, very spiritual, and we want to keep that in mind. They're very supernatural, because if you were living at that time, and if someone's to say, "Hey, she's with child," but they have not lain down.
Man, you crazy.
Right? I mean, that's what you would be. If your granddaughter come to you and be like, "I got a baby," it's like, well, y'all, it ain't time for the consummate. What have you done? She's like, we haven't done anything. You would not believe that.
Right.
But you know what happened? A messenger had to come to Miriam. Miriam tells Joseph, he's just like, you gotta go. Look, I'm a gentleman. I ain't gonna get you stoned and do all that stuff. And a messenger had to come to Joseph. No. She's a child of the Holy One. Get out of here. Okay.
Right.
All right, let's look at Matthew 24. We're going to look at a big clue to his return. Right, so this theme of this feast is about thy kingdom come. So in order for the kingdom to be set, he must come again. He must come again. Now, Matthew 24, 36 through 39. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Okay, big clue here. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So he's telling us something about the past, how it once was, is how it will be when I come back. How the earth was at one point, I will return when it gets back to that point. Well, when was that point? Days of Noah. Okay, you see that as the days of Noah were past, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Future. Okay, verse 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating, drinking, marrying, and giving into marriage unto the day that Noah entered in the ark and knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Okay, so he said, I'm coming back. No one knows the day or the hour, but it will be like the days of Noah. It will be like the days of Noah. Okay, so key people during the days of Noah. Okay, Cainoch or Enoch, he was Noah's great granddaddy. In fact, some of us have been fortunate to have your great granddaddy, alive, right? Or at least at some point in your life. So that is probably, So Enoch was his great grandfather. He begat Methuselah. Okay, Methuselah was Noah's grandfather. Okay, then Methuselah begat Lamech. Lamech, as we're going to read in an extra biblical source, Lamech, he receives a divine message. Okay, and he begets Noah. Noah is the central character of the great deluge.
Right.
He's the central character. I don't like saying character like it's a story, but you know what I mean when I say character. He's the main person. He is the star, okay, of the great flood, the great deluge. And so we're looking at Noah, his father, his granddaddy, and his great-granddaddy. So we're looking at some strong men in the days of Noah. Some very strong men in the days of Noah. Let's turn to Jude, please. Jude. It's only Jude. So we'll be in Jude 13. It's just one chapter. Be in Jude 13. Just give me hallelujah whenever you get there.
Hallelujah.
Jude 13.
Hallelujah.
Amen. We'll go Jude 13 through 15. Okay. All right, Jude 13. Raging waves of the sea, foaming out of their own shame, wandering stars, wandering stars, wandering stars. Keep that in your mind. To whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever.
Mm.
So let's look at this again. Raging waves of the sea, foaming out of their own shame. Whose shame? Wandering stars. Well, where are they? To whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied. Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these. Of who? The wandering stars. What happened to them? What did he say? Well, they were reserved for blackness of darkness forever. Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints. So Enoch said something during the days of Noah about the Lord or the Master coming with 10,000 saints. Now, in our scriptures or in history, has a master came with 10,000 saints from where these wandering stars are from? Because what is he talking about? He's talking about wandering stars. That's what he's talking about. And he's talking about, and he's quoting something that Enoch said. So Jude would have done what? Read, known, and had an understanding of Enoch.
Right.
Very, just real simple. Just, I don't have to go into great details. When I say Enoch, you should know what I'm talking about. To the people that I'm writing to, this letter, this epistle, for whatever's going on in the church or the congregation at that time, when I say his name, we all on the same page. Like I ain't got, if I say Michael Jordan, we all understand. I don't have to go into the Michael Jordan, the greatest player of all time. He's still selling all kind of shoes. He hit buzzer beaters. He said, you don't have to. If you say Michael Jordan, everybody gets it.
No.
I don't have to go into a resume, right? So certain people, you don't have. So Enoch's their Michael. Okay, he's like, hey, Enoch, saying, "Behold, the Lord come with 10,000 saints." Why are they coming? To execute judgment upon who? All. And to convince all that are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and of all their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So in these verses, he's going from wandering stars to all of the ungodly. So that means humans now fall into this, what he's saying. I'm setting a precedent because I'm talking about the wandering stars that would have been known to this people at that time. They don't got to go into no deep kind of detail. We're in Jude 1:13 through 15. Make sure my baby is right in. Okay, that's Jude. All right, so the mind. I had this for y'all, I'm sorry. So the mind of a Messianic Hebrew, because Jude is someone who would have believed in Mashiach.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have been not just a Hebrew or Israelite, but I believe in Mashiach.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that he came. I believe in the death, and I believe in the resurrection. That he became the one.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. So, and as I had it here for you. But anyway, so raging waves of the sea, foaming out of their own shame, wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever.
Mm-hmm.
And Enoch, also the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these. Mm-hmm. So he must have read it, heard about it, knew it was true to put it in an epistle to the believers.
Mm-hmm.
saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000s of his saints to do what? Execute judgment. So this hasn't happened yet, has it?
No.
It hasn't.
So we're still waiting. To execute judgment on all. So all is including wandering stars and to convince all of the ungodly among them. Among the who? Wandering stars that will be affected. And among all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and all of their hard speeches with ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So he kind of goes from one subject to another subject and kind of combines it in one, because he says all ungodly. Okay? So that means, well, I don't want to jump the gun. All right, so we got to focus on Yahshua no matter where we go, no matter what extra biblical sources we use tonight. Just keep your mind on Yahshua. We got to understand that he is a savior. He is salvation. He is going to save our sorry behinds. But he's got a lot more business to handle. We're actually small fish. He is the king of the cosmos. The cosmos is out of order. Earth is out of order. Under the earth is out of order. You don't get this position from the Father unless it's out of order. And someone will come and set the record straight.
Right.
So the humans are just a small part. We said this weeks ago that we got to start thinking big when it comes to the plans of Yah. Just shows how selfish we are. Oh, it's always about me. It's all whoa. The creation groans. Yah is the only one that trees talk to.
Amen.
He say dirt, and the dirt say, yes, sir. Water flapping and
Yeah.
so creation is suffering, and we're a part of creation.
Right.
We are a huge part of creation. I don't want to downplay us, because he gave Adam what? Dominion. So we got to focus on Yahshua no matter what. Okay, I'm not that dude. Okay, I'm not that dude.
The dunce.
I'm not the conspiracy, okay? I'm not that dude. Okay, so, that's what I'm saying. You must focus on Yahshua no matter what. Because I'm not that dude. All right, but we're going to look at some stuff and some things that I've probably just not been in. I know some have Sephers. Some have Sephers, some have Apocrypha, some, you know, but not everybody. And every time we reference these extra books, I always put, as my brothers and sisters, I always put extra biblical sources. I don't try to argue and fight, hey, should be canon. I mean, that's whatever, that's what they did. But we should have enough spirit of discernment to know and to read something and be able to connect it to the Torah. It must go back to the Torah. When it don't, then we kind of go, because they wouldn't. Right? No Israelite would go against Torah unless you're a reprobate. And I'm sure there are plenty of knuckleheads now. So I'm sure there was some knuckleheads then. So I'm not that dude. Okay? I'm not that dude. All right. So Genesis 5. Let's turn to Genesis 5. You gotta be careful sometimes. You be talking to people, they be like, "Oh, okay, one of those guys," and you just get shut out. They just shut like, "Wait a minute, that's actually I got something that I think is right on," but you know, right? Okay, so Genesis 5. We'll start in verse 21, because what did Yahshua say? His return will be like what was? Days of Noah. So we have to go back and analyze, break down, and get as much information as we can about what? The days of Noah. So we can not know exactly when, but we can be prepared. Well, why? If I'm supposed to be an extension of him, a representative of him, an ambassador of him, a little sukkah want to be a big temple of him, harboring him, then I should be in my vineyard, working diligently. So when he comes, I won't be accused of being lazy, sleeping, or kicking it with the people getting drunk. That's just being a watchman.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
And I mean that watchmen watch women too, you know. Cause I ain't checking y'all, look, we came in from our men's meeting this morning. All right, and these folks is like, okay, get out, get your step in. I can't just sit down, like, get out. All the women turn and cut their eyes. I'm like, okay. And I was like, look, Brother Aaron this morning, he brought some fire. I will not be angry. I will keep my cool. I'm not gonna fail this test. I'm getting tested already.
I said you could get
I'm
some
gone.
bingo.
I'm gone. We out there so long. Say what now?
You should have saw her. She played me. She
I-
just stopped talking until I left.
Yeah, look. So and look, every man that came in here, look, we not gonna push me. I'm gonna stay focused. Had Brother Mike out there, his hip hurt. We had to sneak in and get a chair for him and come back out. It's like David and the Mighty Men. Somebody had to sneak and go get some water for him and sneak, you know. Sorry, look, y'all do what y'all want to do. We gonna stick. We gonna do what we supposed to do. We are not gonna lose our cool. We're gonna stay focused. All right, Genesis 5:21. And Enoch lived 60 and 5 years and begat Methuselah. Enoch walked with God, and he begat Methuselah 300 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 360 and 5 years. Stop right there. So Enoch was 365 years on planet Earth. And he walked with Elohim. So I'm sure that he had a lot to say, a lot to get, a lot to receive,
Walk with him.
a lot. We know what that walk means. Because you know what Yah said to the children of Israel, man, I want to walk with y'all.
Right.
I want to walk with you. But you know what we said? I give you my number, but don't call me all the time.
Right. Oh man.
I'm just saying, man, some of y'all ladies know, y'all mess around and give, before y'all get married, you know, said back in the past, you know, y'all get somebody number, I hope you don't call me that, or you give them the wrong number. I know it sure done happened to me. I done called that number. I said, this is not.
Yeah.
Why am I getting Pizza Hut? What am I getting Pizza Hut for? Y'all ain't right. Y'all ain't right. Anyway, so all the days of Enoch were 365 years, and Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. And Methuselah lived 187 years and begat Lamech. And Methuselah lived after he begat Melech 782 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Methuselah were 969 years, and he died. And Melech lived 182 years and begat a son, and his name was Noah, saying, this same shall comfort us concerning our work and toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord hath cursed. How did he know the Lord? How did he know? How did he know the ground was going to be cursed?
Adam, Eve.
Calm down, buddy. He knew something. He knew something. Something he knew. And Lamech lived after he begat Noah 590 and 5 years and begat sons and daughters. And all the days of Lamech were 770 and 7 years, and he died. Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begat Shem, Ham, and Japheth. All right, skip over to 6:1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. Stop right there. So that's where we're going to stop at. So we are now looking at what Genesis gives us as a small synopsis of the days of Noah. And it came to pass when men began to multiply and daughters were born. So human beings, men, had daughters. Okay? That's what it says. Okay? Pretty clear on that one. Men are multiplying. Now, because there has been a breach in the garden, right? Men have eaten of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. So now you have some people who walk straight, some might walk curved, some just walk way to the left. Okay, so crimes are being committed, right? Murders are happening. There are things going on in the earth. There are things going on in the earth. People and just things are going on. So crimes are being committed, and the knowledge of good and evil is becoming magnifying with each generation. Okay, then we get to verse 2, 6 and 2. That the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives whomsoever they chose. So one of the things we got to do tonight is we got to figure out the sons of God. Are the sons of God in Genesis 6:2 different than the men in 6:1? Are they different or are they the same? Okay, so when we look at our Hebrew, Genesis 6:2, we have Vi Yeru B'nai Haolim. Okay, so we learned today that Ben means what? Son. Okay, so we have B'nai, sons, plural, Ha Elohim, okay, of God. Okay, so B'nai Ha Elohim. So we see it in English, we see it in Hebrew. Okay, so the sons of God, whoever they are, took daughters of men, that they were fair, they took them wives of whomsoever they chose. Okay, then we get to Genesis 6:3-8. Let's read that. And Yah said, my spirit shall not strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Okay, so something between Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 happened. Something happened. And then Yah said in verse 3, he said, he said, look, I'm not going to have a headache fooling with y'all. Now, he didn't say that until the sons of God took daughters of men. Whoever the sons of God are. We're just going to have to figure it out tonight. That caused Yah to say, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh. Yet his days should be 120. So it went from people living 700, 500, living a long time, to I'm going to give y'all 120. Now, and you're going to be cut off after 120. Then, verse 4, there were giants in the earth in those days. So we're in the days of Noah. So in the days of Noah, there were what? Giants in the land. What do y'all, so regardless of what we're saying, eyes on Yahshua, what did the master tell us about his return? It will be like the days of Noah. Okay. So no matter where we go, how crazy it's going to sound, keep our eyes on the prize. The prize is Yahshua. Okay. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that. After what? The flood. So for a Israelite, the flood is huge. That is, a huge part of the history. The flood, very important. That was, very, very important. And hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to do it. Friday with part 2. Saturday with part 2 about how the Mesopotamians have the same scholastic records of Genesis. They just have the God name different. They're praising and worshiping, someone else. But anyway, there were giants in the earth in those days. After also that, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bare children unto them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown. So once again, the sons of God, the B'nai Elohim, okay, did something with the daughters of men. And Yah, verse 5, he saw it as wickedness. The wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination and thought of his heart was only evil continually. And he repented Yah that he had even made man on earth. So it got so mad, it was so bad that he was like, I shouldn't even have made him. So he said, Yahshua said, it will be like the days of Noah. Okay, so that lets us know it's going to be woo. It's going to be bad. And they repented the Lord that he had made man on earth, and that he grieved to man his heart. And Yah said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast and creeping thing and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Okay, so Noah, these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation. We talked about perfect before as being tamim, just meaning he was complete. He was whole. Okay, he was a complete person. And that's what we're trying. We're just trying to be complete people. We're trying to be a finished product. These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generation, and Noah walked with God like Enoch. Okay, so that was Genesis 6. All right, so extra biblical sources. non-canonical books. Okay, extra biblical sources, non-canonical books. My brother, can we get Enoch, the 7th chapter, verse 1 through 8? So if you have a Sefer, if you have, some of y'all can follow along, go ahead and follow along, but I know I got it back there set.
It happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days,
Who?
that daughters, the
Who had
sons of
multiplied?
men had multiplied in those days,
So that matches with what Genesis said, right? That the men multiply. Okay, go ahead.
that daughters were born to them,
Mhm.
elegant and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And when the watchers, the sons of heaven, beheld them,
The who did?
the watchers, the sons of heaven,
Okay.
they became enamored with them, of them, saying to each other, Come, let us select for ourselves women from the progeny of men, and let us beget children. Then their leader, Shemaiah, said to them, I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise, and that I alone shall suffer for so grievous a crime. But they answered him and said, We all swear and bind ourselves by mutual excretions that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking.
Okay, stop. Now, what verse you in now?
That was verse 6.
Okay, go ahead. If you do next two.
Then they swore all together and all bound themselves by mutual excretions. Their whole number was 200, who descended upon Ardis, which is the top of Mount Chermin. That mountain therefore was called Chermin, because they had sworn upon it, and bound themselves by mutual excretions. These are the names of their chiefs.
Now, is that 7:1 through 8?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
7
okay. Okay. All right, so something interesting. So we have, if we look in our scripture, we'll have some angels or messengers, right? Gabriel was a messenger.
Right.
He had to go give Daniel a message. What happened with Gabriel on his way? The prince held him up for 21 days.
Right.
Why couldn't Gabriel just fight his way out of there? Because that's not that's not his job.
Right.
I just carried a mail. I ain't no bouncer in the club. I just carry mail. So who had to come get him out of jail? Michael. Michael had to come in. Get him up out of there. So Gabriel could go and do his job. So when you hear the term angel, the government of the heavenly realm, security, fighter, messenger, cherub, sit there, swing the sword. Holy, holy saints to sit around the throne with multiple wings, flapping their wings, holy, holy all day. Watcher. There were 200 who were on earth. Okay. Brother, let's read.
Wow.
And so they said, hey, let's take some of these ladies and let's create our own lineage. That's interesting. We're told that when God formed man, he formed him in his own image. So somebody had an idea that was like, we can do that too. Why don't we do that? And remember, Jude, what he said, these wandering stars are in trouble, big trouble. They're reserved in judgment forever.
In darkness.
Yeah.
In darkness. Okay. Now, just bear through some of the names. Just bear through some of the names. But brother, let's do 9 through 15 now. It's chapter 7.
These are the names of their chiefs: Shemazai, who was the leader, Uric-Bamariel, Achayabil, Shemael, Remuel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Sherekiah, Asael, Armirs, Batrael, Enaim, Zevabi, Samavil, Aretil, Tiru, Yomail, Ariziah. These were the perfects of the 200 angels, and the remainder were all with them. Then they took women, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees.
Stop right there. So, now we're not just talking about some form of fornication, but if we just put that to the side, we were told in Genesis 6 that after Genesis 6:2 and 6:4, when the sons of God are mentioned, in 6:5, God says, he says, I saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. It had intensified. It was more than what it already was. So, highly possible that Enoch chapter 7 is filling in the gaps of Genesis 6. From verse 1 to verse 2 to verse 3 to verse 5. It's filling in the gaps. How did they get more wicked? If anybody has been incarcerated, and when you go sometimes to jail, you come out a better criminal. So what happened to where they could become greater in being bad? So back up maybe 2 verses, brother, and start reading again.
Then they took women, each choosing for himself whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees. And the women conceiving brought forth giants.
Brought forth what?
Giants. And they bore to them 3 races. First, the great giants. The giants brought forth the Nephilim, and the Nephilim brought forth the Eliud. And they existed, increasing in power according to their greatness, whose stature was each 300 cubits. These devoured all the labor of men.
They did what?
They devoured all the labor of men.
It's all the resources.
Until it became impossible to feed them. When they turned themselves against men in order to devour them, and began to injure birds, beasts, reptiles, and fish, to eat one another's flesh, and to drink their blood.
Okay, stop right there. So, I know this is crazy, right? It's not like sci-fi, like a crazy movie. But, what did Yahshua say? It'll be like the days of Noah. So we have to ask ourselves. Okay, so the sorcery, incantation, and what was the other one? Trees and roots? Okay, now, is sorcery in your Torah?
Yes.
That gives you what? Death. Incantations, is that in your Torah?
Right.
Right, so now, if you're familiar, there is another extra biblical, source called the book of Tobit.
Yeah.
And in Tobit, or Tobit, his son is going, and he's about to go meet they're doing a cross cousin marriage. Yeah. And the girl is going to go marry. She has a problem. When a man comes into her wedding chamber, he dies. There was a spirit that was killing them. She had 6 or 7 husbands that have died. So this man, Tobit, and the son name was Tobias, very honorable. His father was honorable. They are refugees of the Assyrian captivity. They're living in exile. So Tobit 1 starts off with Shavuot. So even though I'm in captivity, even though I'm not in a land, I must keep the feast of Yah. He's talking about giving alms to the poor. I'm going to do it. They're trying to kill him. He's going to do it. He's still going to do it anyway. So long story short, his son is helped by someone. And his son is helping him. And his son doesn't know that this man helping him is not really a man, but it was an angel. Right. Now we have evidence of Abraham, Jacob, dealing with angels. We have plenty of examples of people physically dealing with a man or a person that they thought was a person. Right? I think in Hebrews it talks about being careful. You may be entertaining angels. Unaware. Okay. So this angel is like, okay, in fact, if you want to get rid of this spirit, I think you had to get some kind of fish and get the liver or the gallbladder out. So the if you think about different other cultures and religions that do hexes and spells, right? You get some bat blood and you get some cuckoo root and you throw and you do your so that came from somewhere. It just didn't pop in man's mind. Oh, I think I'm gonna get some bat blood and onion root and some meal and put it in there and I mean it just so like I say, you have to bear with it tonight. Eyes on Yahshua, no matter what. Okay. So go ahead, brother. Was that the end of that chapter?
Yeah, pretty much. 15 was just one line.
Okay, what was that one line?
Then the earth reproved the unrighteous.
Okay, so the earth reproved the unrighteous. Okay, so what happened when Cain slew Abel?
His blood.
His blood cried out from the ground. So in Genesis 4 and 10, he said, "What hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground." So read that last line again, brother.
Then the earth reproved the unrighteous.
So we have heard this before. We've heard this, that if it gets really bad, that the earth will cry out to God. Okay. So I want to turn to brother. Turn to 9, Enoch 9, 1 through 14.
Then Michael and Gabriel, Raphael, Suriel, and Uriel looked down from heaven and saw the quantity of blood which was shed on the earth, and all the iniquity which was done upon it, and said to one another, the voice of their cries, the earth deprived has cried even to the gate of heaven. And now to you, O you Holy One of heaven, the souls of men complain, saying, bring judgment to us from Elion.
Okay, stop right there.
El Elyon.
Where have we heard that before?
The blood.
About the souls of the martyrs crying out for justice. Revelation. So we've heard that before. So that should, when we read that in something that's outside of our regular book, we've heard that in Revelation before. Okay, go ahead, keep reading, brother.
Then they said to their Adonai, the king Adonai of Adoniam, Elohim of Elohim, King of kings, the throne of your glory is forever and ever. And forever and ever is your name sanctified and glorified. You are blessed and glorified. You have made all things. You possess power over all things, and all things are open and manifest before you. You behold all things, and nothing can be concealed from you. You have seen what Azazel has done, and how he has taught every species of iniquity upon the earth, and has disclosed to the world all the secret things which are done in the heavens.
Okay, stop right there. Now, the way to pronounce that is Azazel. Where have we heard that before?
The goat.
Satan.
So we gotta just pick our little clues. Let's put them in our backpack. Okay, keep going, keep going. You'll stop at verse 14.
Shemayaza also has taught sorcery, to whom you have given authority over those who are associated with him.
Where did you want me to stop?
14.
They have gone together to the daughters of men, have laid with them, have become polluted, and have revealed their sin to them.
They're what?
Revealed their sin.
So not only do humans sin, and sin is transgression of the But the angels can also be guilty of,
Sin.
so that means they would have transgressed the,
Torah.
okay,
And that's true.
keep on.
The women likewise have brought forth giants. Thus has the whole earth been filled with blood and with iniquity. And now behold, the souls of those who are dead cry out, and complain even to the gate of heaven. Their groaning ascends, nor can they escape from the unrighteousness which is committed on earth. You know all things before they exist. You know these things, and what has been done by them. Yet you do not speak to us. What on account of these things ought we do to them?
Okay, so we have like a little council going on, right? We have, they call it Michael, Gabriel, and two other angels. You know, I thought when I first was kind of going through this, I'm an 80s baby. So I was born in 80, and so I was in that late 80s, early 90s, and what was the hot movie then? The Ninja Turtles. And there was 4 of them. Michelangelo, Raphael, Donatello, Leonardo. And and this is the world that we live in. Their master, the great teacher, was a what?
A rat.
A rat. And you won't believe they had their own world. Guess what their world was?
A sewer.
In the sewer. So, when truth is stranger than fiction, that's why it's the title for tonight. But it gives us an idea of the depths of our adversary. It's not always about rah. It's duping you.
Right.
It's sneaking things in your mind and your
Right.
spirit. Visually, in your ears, through your nose. And we'll see why. Go ahead, keep on going, brother.
10 and 1.
You're on 10 now?
Yes.
Okay, so this will be your last time. This is the last thing we're going to read out of here. Then you got to read no more, brother. 10, 1 through 27. Our last thing out of Enoch. We're going to go on from it.
Then El Elyon, the great and holy one, spoke, and sent Arceliah, the son of Lamech, saying, say to him
To
in
the
my
son
name,
of who?
Lamech.
So he had a messenger send a message to who?
Lamech. The son of Lamech,
Okay.
saying, say to him in my name, conceal yourself. Then explain to him the consummation which is about to take place, for all the earth shall perish. The waters of a deluge shall come over the whole earth, and all things which are in it shall be destroyed. And now teach him how he may escape, and how his seed may remain in all the earth. Again Yahuwah said to Raphael, bind Azazel hand and foot, cast him into darkness.
Bind who?
Azazel,
Bind him what now? Hand
And foot.
and do what to him?
cast him into darkness.
Now what did Jude write in his epistle?
Yeah.
Jude being a messianic Israelite who believes in the coming, and then he believes in the death, and he understands he had to die for the nation, and then for the resurrection and the ascension. And then he writes to the brethren, and he mentions about those wandering stars being cast in darkness.
Yeah.
Go ahead, brother.
And opening the desert which is in Judea, cast him there, throw upon him hurdled and pointed stones, covering him with darkness.
With what?
Covering him with darkness.
Okay.
There shall he remain forever. Cover his face, that
He'll be there for how long?
forever,
Okay.
that he may not see the light. And in the great day of judgment, let him be cast into the fire.
So he's going to be in darkness forever until,
The day of judgment.
okay. And we know that after Mashiach has his reign in Revelation,
Yeah.
right, we see the kingdom coming down, but before the kingdom comes down, there's a last final judgment.
Final judgment.
And then that lake of fire, I thought it was reserved for the devil,
And his angels.
his angels, even death
Right.
and hell will be
Yeah.
tossed
Right.
into this
Right.
fire.
Even men.
Okay, keep going, brother.
Restore the earth, which the angels have corrupted,
Which who has corrupted?
The angels.
And he had to send a message to Lamech's son. Who was Lamech's son again?
Noah.
Okay,
Mm.
go ahead.
Wow.
And announce life to it, that I may revive it. All the sons of men shall not perish in consequence of every secret, by which the watchers have destroyed,
Which who destroyed?
the watchers,
Okay.
and which they have taught their offspring.
Taught whose offspring?
Their offspring.
Their offspring. Okay. Okay, keep going.
All the earth has been corrupted by the effects of the teaching of Azazel. To him therefore ascribe the whole crime. To Gabriel also Yahuwah said, go to the bastards, to the reprobates.
Go to the who?
The bastards, to the reprobates,
Mm.
to the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication, the offspring of the watchers from among men.
So Yah called the progeny of this, how can we say, unholy one night stand. He called their progeny bastards. And why would he say that? When we die, we're told in the Bible that, you know, our body goes to dust and then our spirit returns to the one who gave it. But if I'm a bastard born out of something that some knuckleheads did with the daughters of, then this I have nothing to do with them. Their spirit can't come to me. They need to die. So I'm gonna jump forward. So that spirit from that bastard is what we would call a demon. So we have to separate a angel, watcher, messenger, demon. Okay, go ahead, brother.
Bring them forth and excite them one against another. Let them perish by mutual slaughter.
So y'all had a plan. Now we're used to these heavenly these meetings, and there being a plan. So what was his plan? To have them kill each other, have them fight, go to war against each other. Okay, go ahead.
For length of days shall not be theirs. They shall all entreat you, but their father shall not obtain their wishes respecting them. For they shall hope for eternal life, that they may live, each of them 500 years. To Michael, likewise Yahuwah said, go and announce his crime to Shemaisah, and to the others who are with him, who have been associated with women, that they might be polluted with all their impurity. And when all their sons shall be slain, when they shall see the perdition of their beloved, bind them for 70 generations underneath the earth, even to the day of judgment, and of consummation until the judgment, the effect of which will last forever, be completed. Then shall they be taken away into the lowest depths of fire and torments, and in confinement shall they be shut up forever. Immediately after this shall Shemaiah, together with them, burn and perish. They shall be bound until the consummation of many generations. Destroy all the souls addicted to lust, and the offspring of the watchers, for they have tyrannized over mankind. Let every oppressor perish from the face of the earth.
So now he said, get rid of all the offspring and all those addicted to lust. So what should we assume about the days of Noah? That they will be overrun with lust. I think Timothy talks about that, right? Talks about lust, right? And lust is lust for strange things, abnormal things, bloodlust. Okay, go ahead, keep reading, and stop it when you get wherever you get 27, brother.
Let every evil work be destroyed, the plant of righteousness and of rectitude appear, and its produce becoming a blessing. Righteousness and rectitude shall be forever planted with delight. And then shall all the Kodeshim give thanks and live until they have begotten 1,000 children, while the whole period of their youth and their Sabbathot shall be completed in peace. And in those days all the earth shall be cultivated in righteousness. It shall be wholly planted with trees, and fulfilled with benediction. Every tree of delight shall be planted in it. In it shall vines be planted, and all the vine which shall be planted in it shall yield fruit to satiety. Every seed which shall be sown in it shall produce for 1 measure 1,000, and 1 measure of olives shall produce 10 presses of oil. Purify the earth from all oppression, from all injustice, from all crime, from all impiety, and from all pollution which is committed upon it. Exterminate them from the earth. Then shall all the children of men be righteous, and all nations shall pay me divine honors, and bless me, and all shall adore me. The earth shall be cleansed from all corruption, from every crime, from all punishment, and from all suffering. Neither will I again send a deluge upon it from generation to generation.
Now, we've heard that before, right? That he would not do that, right?
Right.
Okay. That you got is it?
That's it.
Okay, all right, excellent, thank you, brother. All right, so, a lot was read in that, and there's a lot, but we just want to stick on the days of Noah. That's probably the most important, in regards to the coming of Mashiach and how planet Earth will be. Or is it how planet Earth already is? So we're just gonna have to do some comparing and contrasting to that time. And as we read, it was pretty wild, wasn't it? It was a whole nother wild, wild west, wasn't it? It was a whole nother kind of wild, wild west. And Yah was like, look, once this flood is over, they're all gonna bless me, and it's all gonna, everybody's gonna we're gonna start over. But you won't believe what happened after the waters went down. You had Noah, you had Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And one of the sons' name was Ham or Ham. And Ham had a son whose name was Cush. And Cush had a son whose name was Nimrod. You won't believe what Nimrod was. He was a mighty one in the earth. Like of the old time. Like before the flood.
Yeah.
So the extermination plan of Yah, as far as the flood, right, it happened, but it didn't get all the way. So now that means that Yahshua will do the other part. This is the lion. This is the lion. But we're going to keep our eyes on Yahshua. So, we just read Enoch. I know, right? We just read Enoch. It's like, oh. Okay, just read Enoch. All right. What can we glean from? We can glean from Enoch the condition of humanity prior to the birth of Noah. Okay? Condition of humanity prior to the birth of Noah. What provoked a global catastrophe? Right? And who was Yah furious with? Like these things we can glean from that, right? The condition of humanity was bad, but once there was interference from another realm, it like quadruplified. Okay? And then we see who Yah was mad at. And then this is what started the global catastrophe. Okay? So that means that when Yahshua returns, it will be like a global catastrophe. Okay? Because I think he's coming with him and these angels of flaming fire. But Enoch said, the Lord coming with 10,000 saints. Okay. So Enoch, who is Enoch? Enoch, his name means dedicated. That's what his name means in Hebrew. He walked with Yah in his days. He was taken by Yah. He was Noah's great-granddaddy. The root word for Enoch is Kanak. All right, now how many of you celebrate Hanukkah? You keep Hanukkah. Okay, so Hanukkah is built from this child root of Chanak, to train up, dedicate, or inaugurate. Okay, that's where Hanukkah or Hanukkah comes from. It's from that. So, and we just read that, right? So we read those. All right, and a quick overview. So we had high interaction between spiritual beings, celestial, what Paul would say, and physical beings, but they were passing information. Passing information that humans weren't supposed to know. Remember, they had to get ushered up out of the garden. Because if they get a hold of this other tree, they're gonna have immortality. And they're gonna be able to grasp all this. It's gonna be cool. It's really crazy. So there was interaction that just shouldn't have been taking place, right? We got Hebrews 13 and 2. All right, wickedness multiplied. They were getting better. Knowledge goes to and fro, as we're told in Daniel 12 and 4. Knowledge goes back and to and fro, and it increases. Okay, we have an unholy union caused a unholy union. The sons of Elohim with the daughters of men caused an unholy lineage. Right, y'all call them bastards. We got to get rid of them. Okay, they cause another progeny. All right, I think my sister here said with all this moves of cannibalism. So when the giants or the offspring of wickedness turned on the people, they began eating them. Well, I think there was a dude named Jeffrey Dahmer. Right? So cannibalism, it came from somewhere. So the Greek, we're going to look at a Greek word called trogos here in a second. We had drinking blood, then there was animal, I just got animal tampering. And you won't believe it goes on a lot today. All kind of cloning. Well, you know it's good for y'all because there's not enough food for everybody. So many people, we need more sheep, we need more pigs, so we're just going to create our own. We're going to take the DNA and, go in a lab and do our own. When I wonder where that is, so, but he said his return will be like the days of Noah. So whatever was going on then, it must be going on now. Okay. Drinking blood. Drinking blood. You won't believe it. These are hot shows. They're hot books for our young people. You won't believe what they do. They drink blood.
They drink blood.
Huh. Forbes.com. This is 9/25. Oh, is that yesterday? Is that yesterday? Yeah. Forbes.com. Prediction: sex robots are the most disruptive technology we didn't see coming.
Sex robot.
Now, with my regular folks, we talk about this quite a bit. But we have today robots or artificial intelligence that a man can lay down with. And you know what the crazy part is that she's not a human. She's not natural. And whatever was going on in the days of Noah, there was unnatural union. There was unnatural union. So we're not even really concerned about it was an angel, it couldn't have been, just unnatural unions. And what did Yahshua say? They were drinking, eating, and getting married. Well, if you're an Israelite, getting married, it doesn't really, you have to go through your process and go through your consummation. Yeah. So we have people, so by 2020, Houston will have a robot sex brothel. There's already one in Canada. There's multiple all over the world. People are boycotting, and this is the fact. And they talk. I think I've showed. I think Saudi Arabia deemed Sophia the first robot citizen. But he said, "Hey, you know what? Y'all don't worry about it. It'll be just like the days of Noah. They were doing their own thing, and then the flood happened. That's how the return of the Son of Man shall be." He look happy. He's all pervert. Now, don't worry, ladies. They're coming for y'all too. They come. These are next. So we're going to have unholy unions between humans and non-humans. Just humans and non-humans. Okay, Trogos. I'm sorry, I went too far. We don't look at that. Trogos is used only 6 times in our Bible. We turn to Matthew 24. Matthew 24 will be strictly regular scripture now, but we had to get a precedent set out of Enoch because this is something that they would have read. They found a scroll of Enoch in the Qumran community. And a Saudi Arabian billionaire bought it. So my only deal about the extra biblical books is that we don't have anything that we can look at it with a Masoretic text or even, and they're sure they're out there, but they're just not gonna be out in the open public for, a knucklehead like me to look at it. So we'll be in Matthew 24 and verse 38. He says, for as the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving into marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark. He said eating. That word eating is trogos. And I thought I had it up here, but I guess not. But trogos doesn't just mean eat, but it means to gnaw. If you had a dog and you give your dog a big old turkey leg, a big old bone, the dog gnaws on the bone. Now it says eat or eating, and it's only used 6 times in your scripture. The other 5 times, you're going to guess when this word trogos is used. It's used when Yahshua is saying, you must eat of my flesh. You must gnaw of my flesh. So, now we understand why the Yehudim were like, ugh,
Yeah.
what's wrong with Joseph, boy?
Right. Say crazy.
What's wrong with Joseph? This is the only time that word is used.
Right.
It's used in his description of when he's going to return or what they were doing in Noah's time. Another 5 times, eat of my flesh. Eat of my flesh. Drink of my blood. Now we know why his students said, man, that's a hard teaching.
Yeah.
A lot of people left after that, right? A lot of the disciples turned away. Say, are y'all gonna turn? What did Caleb say? Man, shoot, no, you the only one that got life. I mean, what you said, I don't know, but hey, I done seen too much. I don't went this far now. So we gotta understand what does Elohim, right? We all know what Elohim is, God. What does that mean to an early to mid BC Mesopotamian, Semite, Hebrew, or Israelite? What does Elohim really mean? Okay. So we gotta understand what that means. So we gotta put on Hebrew glasses. We're gonna pretend we put on some Hebrew glasses. Okay. So in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. So on the bottom line, Bereshit bara Elohim. Okay. Et hashemayim va'et ha'eretz. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Okay, we're gonna look at some text. So, God Elohim. Okay, we got it. God Elohim. God Elohim. Right? Okay. All right. Genesis 41 and 15. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. I have heard say of thee that when thou hearest a dream, thou can interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh and saying, it is not me. God will give Pharaoh an answer of peace. Okay. Elohim will give an answer of peace. Okay, sounds pretty normal, seems pretty smooth. Okay, all right, Genesis 41:38. Pharaoh said to his servants, can we find such a one as this, whom is the Spirit of God is? Okay, Elohim again, gotta highlight it, Elohim again. So God, Elohim. So when we see God or Elohim, we think God. Okay, now I will say this, Elohim is always, I'm sure y'all have heard, is always what? Plural. So what are things that we've heard about in the beginning Elohim created? Just some stuff just off top, just that you've heard in the past.
But he's created.
Well, yeah, just have you heard like it was God and the angels, it was God and Christ was there. I mean, has anybody ever heard anything like that about the creation and why is it plural?
Well, the Trinitarians base some of their theology on this.
Okay. So there's different. Okay, you would say it again now.
The Trinitarians base some of their theology on this plurality.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay, so we get triunal doctrine off this. And what'd you say, Miss Bev?
The Father and Son were there in the beginning.
Okay.
And the Word was God, and the Word was with God
Okay.
in the beginning.
Okay, quoting John. Okay, good. Those are good. Those are very good. Okay, so that was Joseph. All right, Elohim. And then Exodus 1:8, now there arose a new king over Egypt who knew not Joseph. So if he did not know Joseph, then he did not also know the Elohim that Joseph would have, served, right? Okay, now Exodus 5, 13, is that the right chapter is that? Exodus 5, 1 through 3, my bad, okay. And afterward Moses and Aaron came and said unto Pharaoh, thus saith the Lord, comma, the Elohim of Israel. The Lord, the God. Okay? Let my people go, that they may hold a feast of me in the wilderness. And Pharaoh said, who is the Lord? He didn't say, who is this God? He said, who is the Lord? Okay? I know. Who is the Lord? He didn't say God. He said, who is the Lord? Thou shalt hearken to his voice, to let Israel go. I know not the Lord. So I know not Yahuwah. I know not Yahweh. I know not Yeveh. I don't know him. And moreover, I will not let Israel go. And they said, the Elohim of the Hebrews. So they gave him someone's name. It was like, who? I don't know him. They said, okay, the Elohim hath met with us. Let us go as we pray through this journey in the wilderness and sacrifice unto the Lord, to Yahuwah Elohim. Least he fall upon us with pestilence or with the sword. Okay, so we have very descriptive. I'm giving you a name, and then I'm just giving someone a title.
Right.
Okay, name, title. From a Hebrew perspective. Okay, not from our perspective, from a Hebrew perspective. Okay, Exodus 7 and 1. Oh, and in that Lord, or in that God, every time is Elohim, every time. Okay, Exodus 7 and 1. And the Lord said unto Moses, see, I have made thee a God to Pharaoh, and Aaron thy brother shall be thy prophet. Okay, so we get down here in the Hebrew. I won't read all that. Well, yeah, I guess so. Vayomer Yahuwah or Yahweh or Yahweh El Moshe Re Not Titeka Elohim. So the English says made thee, but not Titeka is just Natan. It just means present. I will present you, or I will put you up as a Elohim. So he's not saying that you're going to do things that's going to make him think that you're a Elohim. Okay? You're going to do things that's going to make Pharaoh think you're an Elohim. Why? What do pharaohs think about themselves? That they are Elohim.
And besides, they have their own
Okay.
gods.
That they are a Elohim. Okay, so Ruth 1 and 6. And she said, behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people, unto her gods. Okay, return thou after thou sister-in-law. So we get down here, and we'll start there. Va'el Eloheha. Okay, her gods. Okay, but in the Eloheha we have Elohim.
Yes, I see that.
Okay, okay, all right. Now it gets crazy. We just looked at the multiple verses about Elohim and God, Elohim and God, Elohim and God. And then as we kept going, I'm going to make Moses like, or seem like a God.
Right.
All right, Ruth, go back to her God. So that's what she was telling. Now, and the Philistine said unto David, am I a dog that thou comest with me with staffs? And the Philistine cursed David by his God, okay, Elohim. So we have Ba Elohav, okay? But who did the Philistines worship? What was their God's name?
Dagon.
Dagon. Good job, son. Dagon, right? They took the ark into the temple of Dagon. But he didn't say Dagon, he just said God. So if you're just saying God, then you're just going to say Elohim.
Right.
Very general. Okay, very general. Now, look at something else in Samuel. 1 Samuel with David. Then said David to the Philistines. So just they're going back and forth at the battlefield. Going back. They're going back at each other. Then said David to the Philistines, thou comest to me with the sword, with the spear, and with the shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts. What did he say? The name. The name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. Okay, so he said, I'm coming to you in Bashem Yahuwah Zavaot. Very descriptive. Then Elohei Ma'arakot Yisrael. Very descriptive. the name of the Lord of hosts, right? The name of the Lord of hosts. So it's Lord in regular letters, but when you get in Hebrew, it should be L-O-R, it should be the capital, okay? And then the God. So this is the God, and the God of the Israelites' name is Yahuwah or Yahweh or Yahweh, or just kind of whichever one you want to kind of roll with. Okay, who has defiled? Thou hast defiled. Now, 1 Samuel 28, let's read this. Because clearly when we look at God, this is talking specifically about a general area. Okay, 1 Samuel 28. 1 Samuel 28, and we're going to start in verse 8. Okay, we remember Knucklehead Saul, right? Okay, that's what it says. 1 Samuel 28 and 8. And Saul disguised himself, and he put on other raiment. And he went with 2 men, and they came to the woman by night, and he said, I pray thee, divine unto me of the familiar spirit. Now remember we read in Enoch that they learned incantations. And bring me him whom I shall name unto thee. So you got to bring me someone from the dead. And the woman said unto him, behold, thou knowest what Saul hath done, how he hath cut off those that have familiar spirits and the wizards out of the land. Wherefore then layest thou a snare for my life to cause me to die? And he said, he sware to her by the Lord, saying, as the Lord liveth, there shall no punishment happen to thee for this thing. And then said the woman, whom shall I bring up unto thee? And he said, bring me up Samuel. And when the woman saw Shmuel, she cried with a loud voice. And the woman spake to Saul, saying, why hast thou deceived me? For thou art Saul. And the king said unto her, be not afraid, for what sawest thou? Like, don't worry about who I am. What you see, girl? And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of earth. Let's turn to Hebrew now. Verse 13 in Hebrew. And the woman said unto Saul, I saw gods ascending out of the earth. What did she see? Elohim. Okay. She saw El Shaul. Okay. Unto Saul, El Shaul, Elohim, Ra'iti. Okay. Olim, coming up. Men, we learned it today. Men ha'aretz. From the earth. She flipping out. What do you see? I see gods. Did Samuel, was he at Genesis 1 and 1? Well, then why is he at Elohim? Was Moses at Genesis 1 and 1? Then why was Elohim attached to his name? So when we look at Elohim from a Mesopotamian, Israelite, Semite perspective, okay, make sure I'm doing this right. When we look at it from the right perspective, I'm sorry, one more, okay. Amos 5:26, so you should take up Succoth your king and Kinun your images, the star of your God. The star of your God, which you made unto yourselves, okay? Talking about another foreign deity, and what did he call? He said, Chochav, star, okay, Elohechem, your God, which is Elohim. So is Chehun or Molech, was he at Genesis 1:1? So we got Moses, we got Samuel, and when we have another deity, all called Elohim. And in Genesis 1 and 1, in the beginning, Elohim created. So, at first century Israelite would describe anything a Elohim, the celestial body.
Right.
Anything. From heaven, in heaven, dwelling on earth or under the earth. How do we know? That's what she said about Samuel. Or rising from under the earth. Anything, huge category. So they're all Elohim. Yah's an Elohim. Yeshua's an Elohim. The angels, the watchers, anything that is not from the earth realm, from a Hebrew's point of view, when they write, is a Elohim. So when we see gods, we think, oh, you're not God. Well, they kind of are God. They're Elohim. So that's why when Aaron was reading Enoch, they said they went to who? El Elyon. What does that mean?
The
The
Most High.
Most High God. So the Israelites would, or those, the righteous would separate. They would separate the Elohim and say, no, this is the Most High. Okay, of all the Elohim, he is the Most High of the Elohim. Okay, whew, so we had to do that. So back in Genesis 6:2, the sons of God went into the daughters of men, the B'nai Ha-Elohim. Everywhere we looked at Elohim, we saw what it meant.
Right.
But now, because of theology and reasoning and the Sethite teaching, and then just I need to keep people under control. Sons of God are the people of Seth. They're the good guys. And they went into them nasty old women, them old hussies. That's not what it's saying in the text. You can't prove that. B'nai Ha-Elohim, Genesis 6:2.
Right.
Genesis 6:4. Nephilim was in the earth those days. And also after that, when the B'nai Ha-Elohim came to the daughters of men, and they bore children unto them. 5 times B'nai Ha-Elohim is in the book. Only 5 times is that phrase used. Job 1:6. Let's turn there quickly. I know it's getting late. This is why I said it was going to be something. But Job 1:6. Job 1:6. We are familiar with this. Look what it says. Now there was a day when the B'nai Ha-Elohim came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came among them. I didn't make it up. Job 2:1. And again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them to present himself before the Lord. Job 38. Remember that hard question, and Yah, he gave him that one-on-one with Job 38:7. Look what it says. When the morning stars sang together, when the morning stars, what did Jude say again earlier?
Stars.
Those wandering stars.
For blackness.
When the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. I got a hashtag there, okay? Hashtag, bam. Revelation 1:20. Let's look and see what it says. The mystery of the 7 stars, which thou sawest in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks, the 7 stars, the 7 stars, the 7 stars are angels. The 7 stars are angels. The 7 stars are angels of the 7 churches.
Right.
And the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 churches. Revelation 1:20. Yahshua, red bold letters. So these stars are also called angels.
Right.
These angels have dominion.
Right.
So when someone says Elohim judge, yeah, the angels do. They are like judges and rulers.
Right.
We're going to look and see what the Torah says. That's Revelation 1:20.
Right.
That the 7 stars are angels. Let's turn back to Jude now. It's amazing that that's in our text, right? So look at all the lies you got to go through to kind of like make it something else. Man, that's a lie. But you know what? A lie cannot last, fella. Jude 1, well, just obviously 1. Jude and 6, look at this. And the angels which kept not their first estate, and the angels which kept not their first estate, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness until the judgment of the great day. Didn't we just read that? Is that not? So Jude read what we read.
Right.
He read what we read. Even as Sodom and Gomorrah, and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication. What was he so mad about?
Right.
The fornication.
It is in scripture.
And going after strange flesh. It will be like the days of Noah when the Son of Man returns. I wonder if that old dude in that robot is like okay with y'all. That's going on. That was like yesterday. No, Forbes is big time. Forbes is big time. That was big. That was the #1 thing on their deal yesterday. Going after strange flesh, or set forth an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal life. Likewise, also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion, and speak evil of dignities. Have mercy. Let's turn to Psalms 82. Psalms 82. Psalms 82, verse 1. all the things we know. I've heard a lot of stuff on this passage. I've heard when I was kind of first getting into this that, this is, talking about, I'm going to be a God. I'm going to be a God. I don't know if you've ever heard that before. So in Psalms 82, verse 1, God stands in the congregation. So Elohim stands in the congregation of the mighty. Who would be deemed as the mighty? What all of the sons of God, the whole, when they had their meeting up in heaven, okay? He judgeth among the gods. So there's one God that judges among all of the gods.
Right.
So there's one
That's
Elohim.
what it say right here.
Somebody translate it right in that
One
one.
Elohim judges one Elohim.
There's one Elohim that judges among all the other Elohim. How long will you judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Defend the poor and the fatherless, and do justice to the afflicted and the needy. Deliver the poor and the needy, rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. So someone's got to set the course of the earth back right. I wonder who that's going to be. So see how we're little small fish when it comes to stuff like that. I have said, ye are gods, ye are Elohim, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men. But ye shall, who? Ye gods, you will die like men. I wonder if that's referencing to the lake of fire reserved in the end after great judgment. When some of those watchers will finally be let out of their box. And fall like one of the princes. Arise, O Elohim, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Okay. 2 Peter. 2 Peter. Second Peter 2. I was really trying to, you can ask my wife, she's my witness. I was trying to find a way to put those verses down instead of reading all of them for Enoch, but we had to read them. We had to skip some of them, but
It was good.
2 Peter, 2nd chapter, verse 4. Check this out. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, for if God spared not the angels that, so he's talking about something that happened prior.
Right.
Not something that's in the future. No, God punished some angels.
Right.
But cast them into hell. Okay, I think that's the Tartarus. And delivered them into chains of darkness. What did he say? Take Azazel and time, bound him hand and foot. Delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. So they're not coming out till then. And spared not the old world. What is he talking about? What old world? The flood. Before Noah, the flood. So this is fresh in their mind. This is the stuff they talk about all the time. And spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. Okay. Humans in the middle of a cosmic rebellion. That's just the truth. We're in the middle of a cosmic rebellion. Okay, Deuteronomy 32 and 8.
Oh,
Man, X-Men, Transformers. When truth is stranger than fiction. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. And I actually got this for you up here. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. When the Most High divided to the nations the inheritance, when they separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. Deuteronomy 32 and 8, King James Version. Okay? Deuteronomy 32 and 8, NASB version. When the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of man, he set the boundaries of the peoples according to the number of the sons of Israel. Okay? Okay. CEB, I think that's Common English Bible. When the Most High divided up the nation, he divided up humankind, he decided the people's boundaries based on the number of the gods. Deuteronomy 32 and 8. Now, the best translation is always, when we kind of find a blooper, is your Septuagint. Because your Septuagint is going to be translated from that Paleo Hebrew. We have the Masoretic text. I love it. I study it. I read it. I love it. But people have agendas.
right.
It's just, it is what it is. We were told in the law not to change one word. So what do you think Hasatan will do? I'm gonna change words. So in the Septuagint, LXX, when the Most High divided the nations, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the nations according to the number of the angels of God. That's in your Torah. And why is that important? Let me turn there. So in Deuteronomy 32:8, that's what we get. But look at the following passage, 32:9. For the Lord's portion is his people, Yaakov, is the lot of his inheritance. What does that mean? So Yah divided up everything, and the sons of God got territory. They got their piece, like the same way the tribes of Israel, they got their stuff drawn up. So he did the same thing with the angels that were on earth. Some of them locked up. Some of them left they're not there no more. Some of them are here. But when it comes to the land of Israel, that's Yah's portion. You can't have as mine. So now when they leave Egypt and they're going into Canaan, kill all of them. Kill all of them. Don't mingle with them. Now we could, and it's possible that some of them, the king of different kings that were giants, you have that aspect of it too. We're not going there tonight. So get rid of all of them. But the land of Israel belongs to Yah. Okay. Now let's turn to Ephesians 3. We're gonna fly through these so we can get out of here. But I hope this is making sense because we're gonna look at how this affects us, not just waiting for Messiah, but the spiritual warfare. What does this mean? I'll tell y'all Ephesians 3. Let me get there. Y'all beat me to it. Y'all fast. Ephesians 3:1. For this cause I, Paul, the prisoner of Yahshua HaMashiach, for you Gentiles, if ye have heard of the dispensation of the grace of God, which is given me toward you, how that by revelation he made known unto me the mystery, as far as I wrote to a few words. So he says he got a revelation about a mystery. Whereby when you read, ye may understand my knowledge in the mystery of Mashiach, which in other ages was not made known unto the sons of men, as it is now revealed unto his holy apostles and prophets by the Ruach, that the Gentiles should be fellow heirs of the same body and partakers of his promise in Christ by the gospel, whereby I was made a minister according to the gift of grace of God, given unto me by the effectual working of his power. Unto me, who am less than the least of all saints, is the grace given that I should preach among the Gentiles the unsearchable riches of Christ, and to make all men see what is the fellowship of the mystery, which from the beginning of the world, had been hid in Elohim, who created all things by Yeshua HaMashiach. So in the beginning, God created. Now we know that Elohim created. Colossians 2nd chapter, I think it says that Yahshua created all things visible and invisible.
Right.
And since Yahshua came from the heavenly realm, an Israelite writer of Genesis 1:1 would just say Elohim created. Does that make sense? Because Yahshua would be one of those Elohim. Because that's where he came from. Okay, hang in there with me. Verse 10, to the intent that now unto the principalities and powers in heaven places might be known by the church the manifold wisdom of God. The principalities, have you not heard principalities and powers? So when we read Deuteronomy 32:8, we see why there are principalities and powers in high places, because Yah gave angels territory on earth, but Israel's mine. According to the eternal purpose which he proposed in Christ Yahshua our Lord. So the eternal purpose. So Yahshua got big fish to fry. We little fish. Big fish to fry. In whom we have boldness. That's why we can be bold in him. Because he's going to set the world right. But if we're not with him, then we'll be a part of the lion's roar. In whom we have boldness and acts with confidence by the faith of him. Wherefore I desire that ye faint not at my tribulations for you. Like, this ain't nothing. faint not in my tribulations for you, which is your glory. For this cause I bow my knees unto the Father of our Lord Yeshua HaMashiach, of whom the whole family in heaven and earth is named. So everything is named after Yeshua in the heaven and the earth. He was given all power, all dominion over what? Everything.
Everything.
What's the purpose of that? Because other Elohim have dominions and powers. And it's going to take someone else to come and
Yeah, Leo.
Amen.
he's going to put them. He'll put them there. So what did Enoch? Remember Jude said, Enoch said that the Lord will come with 10,000s of his saints. They're going to ride.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Woo, they're going to ride.
Hallelujah.
Woo. Have mercy. Okay.
Amen.
So, if we're in the days of Noah, then it is beyond men and civilizations fighting against each other.
Right.
Yes, amen.
Okay? So, the scripture will tell us, and so, great, you've seen that movie, Tom Hanks? Angels and Demons. Humans right in the middle. Well, we know what that is, X-Men. Super breed, superhumans. Because people in the movies, they can't fight. A regular dude can't beat up Wolverine.
Right. All right.
Magneto's defeating the whole army by itself. Charles Xavier's reading their mind. They're not normal. They're hybrids. Enoch called them, well, y'all called them bastards.
Sure did.
He said, I got to get rid of them. So someone must come and get rid of what is in the earth that was once in the earth in Noah's time. They must be in the earth again. Because the Bible said so. Transformers, Optimus Prime, Megatron, these things from space fighting each other, and humans right in the middle. It's a little subliminal, and I like Transformers, but okay. But I understand what's coming out of Hollywood.
Yes.
Hollywood.
Okay, Revelation 16, 12 through 14. Revelation 16, 12 through 14. Hallelujah. Revelation 16, 12 through 14. So this should make sense of why the kingdom of heaven comes down like in Nebuchadnezzar's mind so hard. This should also let you know why you harboring the kingdom of God is such a threat to the powers and principalities. Therefore, you are a target. Want to know why there's spiritual warfare? That's why. Revelation 16, 12 through 14. And the sixth angel poured out upon his vial upon the great river Euphrates. And the river thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, out of the mouth of the beast, out of the mouth of the false prophet. And they are the spirits of devils, working miracles which go forth unto kings of the earth, which go forth unto kings of the earth, which go forth unto kings of the earth. So the spiritual realm and the physical realm. The physical realm getting aid from the spiritual realm. Didn't we read that? Didn't that just make y'all mad as fish grease?
Right.
And the whole world to gather them to the battle of the great day of the God Almighty. Master chess player. He said, man, send some. You go down there and you go down there. Get all them giants to fight each other.
Yeah.
Romans 8. Now we're going to kind of look at ourselves in this and kind of see where we get a victory by his victory. Because without him, we don't stand a chance.
Amen.
Now, honey, if you can hang in, I'm definitely want to pray for you. But if you got to go, I understand. But I only got a little bit more left. And then I sure want to pray for you. Romans 8 and 38. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come. See how you stuck in the middle? Did you understand what we just read? For I am persuaded that neither death nor life, okay, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present or things to come, like what's going to happen in Revelation 16, 12 through 14. They're coming. Ephesians 6 and 12. So this should make this in Ephesians a lot, because we read this, we talk about our spiritual armor. We see ourselves putting on a helmet, getting a sword in our truth, the belt, getting a shield. It's getting our butt handed to us, not understanding. Why in the world? Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Deuteronomy 32:8. He divided up the nations to the angels, but Israel is my portion. 2 Corinthians 10. 2 Corinthians 10. Just hanging in, we're almost done. I know folks is hungry. I'm hungry. A little bit of baked chicken. I mean, it was my choice, though. It was, I was offered. I was taken care of. So be my dude, man. Come on. 2 Corinthians 10:4. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God by pulling down the strongholds. Whose strongholds? The territory and portions that Yah divided amongst the angels. This is why you are a problem. Because if the kingdom of Elohim rises out of you, you will be just like Yahshua. If my finger caused a demon to come out of you, you've just seen the kingdom of God. You're a major problem. You're a major problem. So I got to keep your head full of foolishness and confused. Because if you dare turn on the button, if you dare turn on the button, so we looked at Daniel the other night about the saints possessing the kingdom and how they were fighting and the little horn prevailed until the Ancient of Days came. So old Daniel them, they was like, man, I don't know what it was. I'm just going to say the Ancient of Days. The Elohim of Elohims of Elohim. The Ancient of Days. I know that's right, baby. She said, ooh, that's exactly right. Okay. So our victory and gain with him of the cosmos. Let's turn to Colossians. I already read it. I jumped the gun. I couldn't help it. But Colossians 2. Two and 15. 14. So looking at Mashiach, what happened on the, well, this is what happened, right? So they take this and see the laws nailed to the cross. Colossians 2 and 14, blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us, and took it out of the way, nailing it to the cross, and having spoiled principalities. And what? Powers. He made a show of them openly, triumphing over them in it. It ain't got nothing to do with humans. It ain't got nothing to do with the Pharisees. It ain't got nothing to do with the Romans. It was the principalities. Because they knew he was there. They knew he was there. So we got to, as we say, use the laws of man to X him off. And if they would have known that killing him would have given him power and dominion over everything, they'd have let him live like Methuselah. I ain't going to touch him. I ain't going to touch him. But you can't let him live on earth, because then he will turn the earth straight. Man, look, y'all put them in, he put them in that chest. Here, that chest, checkmate. That move here, checkmate. Checkmate. So, him dying on the cross, on the stake, it spoiled the principalities and powers. This is why we are able to pull down the strongholds.
That's powerful, man.
1 Corinthians 6. So you're a threat. So you want to know why ain't no peace in your life? You want to know why it's hard for you to get to the appointed Moedim, to get your filling of the Ruach? I can't let you get there.
That make it tough, though.
I got to stop you at I have to stop you at any chance because now we messed up and we killed the Son of the Most High. And now he has his own progeny. We tried to start our own progeny at Mount Kermon, what Aaron read. And then Yah said, I'm going to flip what you did against you. And I'm going to have a progeny. And what did Yahshua say? You'll do what I do and more. They heard it. They ain't dumb. They heard it. I got to keep you from being who you're supposed to be in him. I can't let you walk by the Spirit. I got to keep you in your flesh. I got to keep you angry, emotional, unstable, wavering like a wild boat on a wild white river rafting. Can't let you be straight, because you will pull down principalities and powers, and they abide by rules.
That's heavy, man.
1 Corinthians 6:3. Know ye not that we shall judge angels? Know ye not that we shall judge the angels? How much more things that pertain to this life? Y'all mad. You mad at them. So it's like in the line of getting butt chewed, we're way in the back. Compared to them.
Yes.
Like it's a whole nother level. Like there's some dudes that have not seen the light of day since then.
Right. And then gonna still die.
And then when they come out, it's like guilty. Except you're gonna be saying guilty.
Right.
So think about this inheritance of the saints we talked about the other day. So you can't get your inheritance. I gotta kill you before you kill me. It's simple. My old mob movie. I gotta put a hit on him or on her. I gotta get rid of them. Mess up their family. Use the iniquities that have built up because they understand the laws of the Torah. The bloodshed. Keep it rolling down. Okay, this one's guilty. This one's guilty, y'all. He's done this. He's done that. It's his time to go, right? Why is he getting an extra chance? It's not fair. We're going to look at what they say to Yeshua. It's not fair. What are you doing here? That's breaking the rules. Like, who are you to talk about breaking rules? How have you talked about breaking rules? So now let's look at what their reaction to Mashiach. We're going to look at Mark, Matthew, and Luke. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Revelation, where it talks about the Euphrates being dried up. That's the Euphrates in September. My folks have seen this already. But like Peter said, I got to remind you of these things to keep it in your mind. Because if I don't remind you, you end up forgetting. So September the 7th, 2006, that's your Euphrates River. September 15, 2009, that's your Euphrates River. Then we just read that he's going to dry up the river so that the king of the east can make his way. It's 2018, 9 years ago. You know what? You can go ride your bike and your skateboard and your, what you call them things? Hoverboard in the Euphrates River all day. That was 9 years ago. So you can just do the math on how much water you think in there. It also talks about in Revelation about Yah opening up a prison cell and letting angels out. Who they looking for? People that got the kingdom of God in. It's real simple. That's what I'm looking for. You're the biggest threat. I'm taking you out. Matthew 8:29. I gotta read it, sorry. Matthew 8. We're gonna read these quickly. Almost done, I promise. Almost done. I know this is, you know, you just, once again, I say this sometimes, we don't realize how important we are. But then on the bigger grand scale, we're not that important. It's kind of like you're kind of both, you know. Change come in handy sometimes. Get somewhere, but I need that change. Where that change? I can't. I need that change. Matthew 8:29. Look what is said here, verse 28 actually. And when he come into the country on the other side, when he come into the other side into the country of the Gergenes, there met him two possessed with devils, coming out of the tombs, exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way. And behold, they cried out, saying, What have we to do with thee, Yahshua, thou Son of God? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time?
Right.
Why they say that?
Mm.
Why they say, one they said, what you doing here?
Mm.
So remember, Israel is his portion. This is not, like, can't no army go in there, but y'all can come in there. So y'all come into the land. Like, hey, what you doing here? Is it time for me to go to prison? It's time for me to go to the fire?
Mm.
Why are you here? Like, it ain't time, is it?
Mm.
It's not that time we've been reading about.
Mm.
But Israel is his portion.
Hallelujah.
So what is Yahshua doing? Taking back what's his.
Hallelujah.
Mm.
Right, he said that.
It's deep now. Mark 1.
Mm.
Mark 1.
23.
Mark 1. This is when they go into Capernaum. Capernaum in verse 24. We'll cut it short. Saying, and there was, 23, and there was in their synagogue a man with the unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, let us alone. What have we to do with thee, Yahshua of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of Elohim. So now when you know what Elohim means, and when the other Elohim say you're the Holy One of Elohim, you're the one who was begot of him that we used to see back in the day. What are you doing down here? He walking
Right.
through like, taking what's mine.
That's real.
What's popping? Whoa, 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 whoa. It ain't time, is it? We still got a couple thousand more years, right?
They won't send him back.
Luke 4. Luke 4. Yeah, mercy. Luke 4, 34. Yeah, it's on the screen. Okay. Another scenario in Capernaum, we'll look at it again. Saying, let us alone, 34. What have we to do with the Yahshua of Nazareth? Thou art come to destroy us. I know what thee art, the Holy One of Elohim. And Yahshua rebuked him,
Be quiet.
saying, hold thy peace, shut your mouth. He told him, shut your mouth. And when the devil had thrown him in the midst, he came out of him and hurt him not. Okay, so now let's look at when Luke 8, when you shoot. So I'm not saying this area is not part of their territory, but if it isn't, look at the response of the spirits. Luke 8, 27 through 31. And when he went forth to land, there met him out of the city a certain man which had devils a long time, and wore no clothes, neither abode in any house, but in the tombs. When he saw Yahshua, he cried out and fell down before him with a loud voice and said, what have we to do with thee, Yahshua, thou Son of God Most High? So what do we learn about Elohim and Hebrew understanding? Everybody's the Elohim. But when it comes to the El Elyon, and then they say you are the son of the El Elyon. Do we see that?
Right.
I beseech thee, torment me not. He's like, hey, please don't drop a bomb on me. For he had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man, for oftentimes it had caught him, and he was kept bound with chains and in fetters, and he brake the chains and was driven of the devil to the wilderness. And Yahshua asked him, saying, he said, what's your name? He had no choice but to. You ever watch like some of them old Catholic priests, exorcism movies? What's your name? I ain't that Todd King. Who are you? They had that cross and they'll water. Who? I am not Todd King. He said, what's your name? He said, Legion. Said it quick. It wasn't Legion. Because we are many. So that means there were many principalities and powers in that area, just in one dude. They entered into him. They besought him that he would not command them to go out into the deep. This is the deep the Jew was talking about. This is the deep that Peter was talking about. The deep that And Enoch, he said, man, bind that man up by his hands and feet, throw him in that dark place. This was a big power. And they knew it, and they said, Son of the Most High. Galatians 1 and 8. Galatians 1 and 8. Say you are a threat now. And this is the importance. Galatians 1 and 8. But though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you that preached, we have preached. But though we or any angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you than that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. So angels preaching other gospels. Okay, gotta watch out for that. 1 Timothy 4 and 1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. And the like our time, and what did he say? It will be like the days of when he makes his return. 1 John will be our last text for tonight. 1 John 3. 1 John 3 and 8. We've used this before, but now we're looking at it in a totally different way. 1 John 3 and 8. He that committeth sin is of the devil. That goes for angels too, huh? For the devil sinneth from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of Man was manifest, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of God doth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of God. In this the children of God are manifest. So look around at each other. If you walk around in the Spirit, and you carry yourself in integrity, and you follow in the Torah, then you are a child of Elohim, but of the Most High Supreme Elohim. And you can produce the kingdom of Elohim on earth, which allows you to be a fruit bearer, love, joy, peace, but you also have power to pull down strongholds. Does that make that's I know it's a lot. That's set in. That's you. In this, the children of God are manifest, and the children of the devil. Right? There's a Batman and a Joker. Right? There's a yin in it. There's going to be one and the other. Okay? The children of the devil, whosoever doeth not righteousness, is not of God. Neither hath that loveth not his brother. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another, not as Cain. How far back did it go? All the way back to Cain. What was unique about Cain? When Cain slew his brother, the blood went into the ground and it cried out. So we have to be found the children of Elohim, the Most High Elohim. So you're going to be on the hit list. But when the Ancient of Days comes, you're not on his hit list. That's called in Revelation the wrath of God. What does it say? I do not suffer you to wrath. What wrath? The wrath of God. So we have the ability to fight, but our flesh keeps us from being the judge and the king and the priest and the different things we are to be in this inheritance that we've gotten. So your enemies, the principalities and powers, will use either other people or just do it themselves to keep you from being you. You having a job to do. We all have an assignment to do. We all have something to do. And what we pray for, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And he said, I left something for you. I left that comforter there for a reason. Not for you to, prophesy and do all this stuff. No. I left it for a reason. Because there are dominions that need to be pulled down. If you don't do it, I will do it. He's like, I'm going to do it. But you can start knocking some of them bricks down. You can start marching around Jericho. You can start doing that. Because believe it or not, but they know who you are. They know what's inside of you. So now we just realize how deep this battle is. But we give all praise to the Most High, Yah. Yah, we just thank you for opening up the Word to us. We thank you for wanting to take us to another level in you.